My name is Mina Wajahat, and I'm an AS media student currently studying at Alpha. And I'm here to answer the question of how does my media product engage with audiences and how would it be distributed as a real media text. My product, a 2-minute AS opening sequence, engages with audiences through various means, such as gathering viewer opinions through questionnaires, Instagram stories, interviews, Instagram comments. And by taking into account such opinions, I was able to view things from an audience's perspective, integrating them into my film, and curating a final product, which, although was the outcome of my creativity, still had aspects that would intrigue my target audience and encourage them to interact with my film. To start off, I chose to engage with my audiences through a questionnaire designed to improve my film according to target market feedback. My target audience was predominantly female, majority within the ages of 16 to 20, which is why I marketed my film on platforms such as Instagram, which are commonly used by the youth. The most important aspect of a film, according to my audiences, was the storyline and the camera work, which is why I had to pay extra mind when curating the storyline and plot for my film, so I can keep the audiences hooked till the very end. Majority of my audiences did not care for the gender of my protagonist, so I ended up choosing a female as it reinforces traditional media conventions of how females are emotionally weaker and more vulnerable. 80.4% of people were in fact intrigued by media focused on niche psychological disorders, and 6.6% would recommend it to others if left with an eerie feeling. Now, this is something which left me with a sense of security and ease because it felt as if I had succeeded in reaching the correct audience for my media product. 95.7% were in favor of media that focused on creating tension over action, and 67.4% were into media with visual clues and close ups over things being apparent. This is why in my movie I left space for interpretation and imagination of the audiences on their own while also displaying my vision. Carefully curating a sequence that, although hinted towards what the film was about, didn't give away too much, making it too predictable. 41% were in favor of a happy ending, while 32.6% were in favor of a cliffhanger. In this part of my movie, I went with the lesser popular opinion as I felt that it was more fitting for an opening sequence. My submission for the examination was an opening sequence of something that could possibly be a movie one day. I needed to keep people at the edge of their seats, sort of anticipating what happens next. 91.3% of my audiences prefer unexpected plot twists over predictability, which is what I took into account when creating Echoes of Us, hopefully curating a unique piece of film, which always keeps you second guessing. Secondly, I used open ended interviews in order to gather an in depth view of what the audience's preferences are like. I used the same questions as the one in the questionnaire, however, this time I didn't give the interviewee any choice, giving them the full opportunity to express themselves and their thoughts and opinions on the questions given. Furthermore, in order to decide the title for my film, I put up a story on my Instagram explaining the plot of the film a little bit without giving too much away. I put up a poll on that same exact story with 3 title options to choose from, asking the audiences to pick the best fit, from which we landed on Echoes of Us. Now, during the production stage of my film was when I decided to make a Instagram account separately, specifically for my film, in order to market my film using posters and teasers. The reason I chose to market my film on Instagram was again because the age demographic for the majority of my audiences was between 16 to 20. And because I personally belong from that age group, I know for a fact that Instagram is undoubtedly the most used app by people within this age group. Upon the release of my poster, I received quite a positive feedback from my audiences, which left me with a sense of security, also motivating me to work harder in order to satisfy those looking forward to seeing the end result of my product. The response I received as soon as I released the teaser for my film furthermore reaffirmed me into thinking what I was doing was right. The immense positive feedback urged me to perform my absolute best in order to deliver a product which would truly stick with my audiences. The teaser for my film can also be found on my YouTube, as although Instagram caters to majority of my target audiences, I couldn't neglect the minority that does not use social media apps such as Instagram and could be reached through different platforms such as YouTube. Personally, I think my marketing strategies worked really well in my favor because when I released Echoes of Us initially on the 1st of March 2025, my film within a whole 24 hours had reached over 12,000 views, over 400 likes, 300 plus comments, and over 150 shares. Again, on Instagram alone. This kind of extreme positive feedback made me feel as though all the work that I had put in up to this point was absolutely worth it. The extreme success of this sequence also further solidified the research work and findings that went into the making of this film. The response on YouTube was a bit dry as compared to Instagram, but I expected that because the majority of my audiences use Instagram. Although for now, as an AS student, I used online platforms such as Instagram and YouTube to distribute my film, let's take a look at how it would be distributed as a real media text. Starting with the most traditional way of release, a theatrical release. Through the help of media houses such as Disney, I would have my movie theatrically released worldwide simultaneously, as releasing it globally simultaneously decreases the chances of piracy. A few weeks or about a month after my film's theatrical release, I would have it be released on direct to consumer online streaming sites such as Hulu, Netflix, or Amazon Prime. This is because in today's day and age, most people choose to watch movies online within the comfort of their own homes. Post pandemic, this has become a common practice worldwide as it's convenient for people to pause, play, and skip to whatever part of the movie that they want, or to just watch movies at any given time rather than going to a cinema and watching it at a particular time without being able to replay, skip ahead, or pause the film. One way in which I would not distribute my film is through television broadcasting. This is because I feel as though that is too outdated, inconvenient, and broad. Most people do not watch broadcast schedules when they have the choice of watching something as per their convenience. Broadcasting my movie on television would also result in me not reaching the right target audience for my movie, as the audience is really generalized in this form of distribution. Overall, I think that if I chose this form of distribution, then I'd make way lesser of a revenue. To conclude, in order to engage with my audiences and release my final product, I've used online media platforms such as Instagram and YouTube, and I've interacted with my audiences via questionnaires, Instagram polls, and comments. If I were to distribute my film as a real media text, I would choose to do it by a global theatrical release, as well as direct to consumer streaming services and sites. That's all. Thank you.